We are live. Woohoo!
I'm here with my dear friend Miranda Wills, and I'm really excited to share some of the downloads, tools, and conversations that we've been having over the past, several months. And really intend that you find this very valuable because for me personally, these are life-changing tools. These are what we use every day for ourselves and journeying with the people that we journey with. And the name of the game right now is frequency and vibration. And that involves inner healing, being aware of what your belief system is, the underlying programs and self-talk, using your words, being very aware of that, and consciously creating your reality each day, first thing in the morning and then throughout the day, and then really remembering that we are walking magnets. And the thing that sets our magnetic frequency, it's going to pull in whichever of these timelines we desire, whether it's abundance, love, joy, our ideal vocation or travel or whatever, is our frequency. And this is the beautiful thing about it. When we learn this and we start to really be consciously aware of this, it's that simple. And you learn to feel the frequency of how you feel during the day. And so we're going to share a bunch of great tools and just open up some conversation around how we navigate through this. And what I love about Miranda, when we get on calls, one of our favorite key themes is playfulness. Because being playful, being curious, and being excited, and in gratitude are some of the highest frequencies. If you want to begin to attract more people, more magic and miracles, which really aren't magic and miracles, they're the law of frequency and vibration of what your magnet begins to pull in when you start to consciously focus on this. And so I just want to finish before I turn it over to Miranda, that you can see in the external right now that the people in power, the dark controllers, for lack of a better name, it's an all-out blast of anything they can throw at people to lower their frequency, to get people to be arguing and judging, and to just keep them cycling in that 3D matrix. And the great news is that the light has already won. This has to play out. There may be some, there may be some casualties. I don't like to say that, but the bottom line is, if you're watching this, these are the tools, and this is what we're doing moving forward. Because in the new earth energies, 5D and beyond, there can't be judgment, there can't be shame, there can't be guilt, there can't be any anger or hatred. I mean, yeah, you can, we go back and forth between emotions. I get triggered once in a while, but I immediately feel it and I go, oh, okay. So I stop and I go through my process, I take my breath, and I ask, what is this trying to teach me about me? Because the trap of the hologram out there is it's reversed. It's like inverted. So we think that people out there are doing things to us, but it's really just a big mirror. And when you figure that out, that's the doorway. And I'm not saying anybody on here hasn't figured that out, but just in case. And I'm just talking to Jeff again to remind myself over and over and over and over. Because really, to me, conscious awareness is the only game in town. Having fun, being like a little child, never limiting your imagination, and just, for me personally, getting rid of the entire belief system. It's a prison. Most people's beliefs are a prison, and anything that challenges their beliefs, they get triggered, and they just keep recycling the same lesson over and over. And this is not taught in school for a reason. So we're excited, and we're glad that people are here. Oh, I also want to let you guys know, this is a Q&A. So if you guys have questions, hey Davia, hey Sarah, hey Aki, great to see you all. Thank you for your comments. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to pop them in, and if we can get to them, and they're around conscious awareness. We're not going to dive into, the dark and all that stuff, but we're going to dive into the light and excitement and having fun. So thank you all for joining us. Hi, Miranda. What's going on?
Hi, Jeff. Well, I want to start by saying I'm just thrilled to be here with you, beautiful soul, and thank you so much to all the souls who are joining us the live and the replay. And for Jeff and I, this is a lot of fun. We've been having lots of chats and raising up the vibration and really celebrating this new age, which is all about we are the creators and we are able to consciously create our reality. And how fun is that? And really, as Jeff said, getting our focus on what do we want to create. Hi, Leslie, lovely to see you. Hi, everyone, Laura and David. There's a lot of people joining us. We love you too. So I know that one of my roles here on the planet is really to amp up the frequencies. I've been very present to a lot of divine love just coming through the frequencies of bliss and ecstasy. And it's just an exciting time. So Jeff and I are going to talk about, you know, creatorship and really diving into some tools about really getting focused with your frequency so that you can create confidently. And also if there is anything that you're still moving through that you want to shift to raise your vibration even higher, what you can do. And both Jeff and I have had big journeys. We've done a lot of inner work. I'm laughing about it now, but can I just tell everybody, at times on my journey, I was like, holy moly, what is this? In fact, it was so big at times, Jeff, I remember I just popped, you know, like Laurie Ladd says, there's times in your life where the intensity of trauma or whatever it is you're working through is so intense. Like I popped through multiple dimensions and went, actually, I remember who I am. So yeah, let's talk about the fun of it and the play of it, as well as how to move through some of the density.
Right. I just want to say how much I admire you, because probably nobody on this call knows your story, but this woman has been through an immense amount of trauma and transmuted it. And just like, she is a warrior. So we're all bubbly and happy on here, you know, but you know, if you're not currently and you're experiencing challenges in your life, that's what this call is about. This isn't all about, it's all love and light, you know, no, because the reality of it is right now, we're being tested at the highest level that we ever have been, possibly in history, or certainly equal to some certain times in history where it was an all-out attack. And so the key is to really become a conscious observer. Because I talk about this a lot. In the book, Waking Up in a Dream, I narrow it down to basically two types of people. The conscious observer is able to observe and take a breath and be aware of their reaction. The automatic reactor is triggered, lashes out, judges, and just keeps recycling all this stuff. And it's okay to react, and it's okay to get upset, and it's okay to be pissed off if things aren't going right, or you lost your apartment, or your employer's trying to force you to get the JAB, or to have you get the phony certificate, or wear a, you know, face diaper or whatever. These are the keys. And the number one key is to observe. Because as soon as we react and our frequency gets lowered, they kind of win. Or we stay stuck in what I would call the repeating lower dimensional 3D timelines. So the whole name of the game right now is, yeah, if we got to navigate through some crap, we don't have to like it. We're not going to walk around going, everything's fairies and rainbows and, you know, I'm a star child and all that. No, but it's, what are the tools? And the tools are, where is my frequency right now? How am I telling my story? Like, I don't know, some of you on this call might know, I got into a little accident about a day and a half ago, trying to break up a couple dogs, and I happened to be on my motorcycle, and I fell over an embankment. My back landed on a concrete edge of a thing, and you know, there was a little bit of pain, and it's interesting to watch people. They will tell their story, and I noticed that when people were, and thank you to everybody that sent all the love and comments. I mean, I'm overwhelmed. I got the most love and comments out of any post I've ever done in my life. So I was very surprised, because I usually don't ask people to send me healing energy or anything. But the point I'm making is, it would be very easy every time somebody sends me a private message and asks me how I'm doing, to tell them, my freaking ass hurts. It's swollen up that much. My butt bone is bruised. My ribs. But here's the key. That may be my reality, but I have 1 trillion cells in my body that are all consciously aware, and they're listening to every thought, every word, and the emotion that I put behind that. So I just tell them, I love you guys. Oh my God. I can't believe you guys have put up with every accident, every stupid thing I've ever done, drinking alcohol, drugs, freaking self-shame, everything, my whole life. And these cells in our body are unconditionally loving us since we've been in the womb. And if that doesn't kind of make you go, wow, that's pretty, I mean, because you want to find something to be grateful for to raise your vibration. A lot of times we get trapped and we're like, I can't find anything. And that's when I go into, okay, my heart's beating without me having to even think about it. My blood's being purified. There's trillions of functions going on right now. And some people might go, well, that's just, that's always happening. Well, then you're tossing away your opportunity to at least pick one thing to start to raise your vibration and find things to be grateful for. Because I guarantee you, the people that are grateful and find something to be grateful for, they are magnetizing their magnet. And sometimes we might even have to fake it until we make it. Like, I have people create their reality every morning and they see anything they desire. It's already here. Now the ego would go, well, it's not here. I'm trying. I hope. I want. I wish. Those are all spell words that tell the subconscious that it's not here yet. So you're programming yourself that it's not here yet. It's not here yet. So sometimes we fake it till we make it and we go, I feel all the incredible people here that I'm journeying with. I'm playing concerts all over the world. I'm healthy. I'm hanging out with the wild jungle dog. Abundance comes. I send it out. It's just here now. And so frequency, frequency, frequency. Where's your frequency? And then surrounding yourself with people that are going to mirror you. And, they might listen to your story, but anybody that I'm hanging out with, I'm not going to let them go on and on and on and on and on and on. If they're not aware, I'm going to go, hey, how about this? How about interrupting that and shifting? And if they want to shift, then cool. If they don't, then I'm done and I exit that, because I can't be around people that are just going to drag me down. I'll be very kind and loving about it, but some people are open and want to grow, and some people are not ready yet. They're in their story. So those are some real keys, and I'll turn it over to Miranda so she can throw some of her tools.
I just want to say hi, Wendy, Laura, Leslie, Sarah, Dadia, Aston, Aki. It's so great to have you with us. We've got a bit of an echo going there, Jeff. That sounds good. But I was going to say, we've all had our stories, and the soul, as the soul, when we incarnate into these experiences, we make all these choices. And from my perspective, everything is chosen by the soul. So all of the things that we find earlier in our lives, or even currently in our lives, challenging, as we know, there's a gift in every single experience, because as the invincible eternal soul, we are actually able to transmute anything into love. But at times in our journey, we might not remember that. At times in our journey, we might be asleep to that. And it's this incredible process that we have of awakening to true divine sovereignty, who we are as souls. And as we face into fear, and fear is really, for me, a doorway into love. So for those of you who don't know much about my story, from a very early age, I had experienced some tremendous trauma, enough to split my psyche. So I repressed, a lot of trauma I experienced between 2 and 6 years of age, because I couldn't handle it when I was a child. So I essentially was living in a dissociated state for most of my life. I was still able to function, have a job, I did all of those things, but I was living in a sort of a rose-colored glasses view of what had really happened to me. And then when the memories started resurfacing, I had to do a deep dive, and I had to face all of the trauma and walk through every doorway of fear and lean into it. And I got so good at welcoming every trigger because it was an incredible opportunity to work out, that love actually is invincible and that we are incredible souls and we're able to consciously create our reality. So much so that when it comes to the current experience that we have, I'm very much about once we are radiating divine love, once we are truly in our soul power, we are not attracting anymore the things that we don't wish to experience. So whatever it is, whether it's unhealthy relationships, whether it's health issues, whether it's the world situation, we stop attracting that into our field. And then we just sort of radiate that love out, and we're actually powerfully able to influence the field. And this, of course, is what's happening because the fear matrix is being dismantled and we are entering this. I mean, some people call it the golden age of miracles, other people call it new earth, but essentially it's a soul realized planet. And the consciousness of Gaia is already ascended. So we're just awake. And when, there's only one of us here, actually, the divine one. So when we see each other, we recognize each other as souls, and just as beautiful as all of the flowers are on the planet, each soul is exquisite in its own expression of creation. And really, when you're in conscious relationships, all you can really do is just love each other. And if something gets triggered, you do your own inner work because it has nothing to do with the other soul. So yeah.
Good stuff.
It becomes very joyous, doesn't it, Jeff? I end up laughing a lot. I call it giggle ascension at this stage because I just find life so much fun and so creative and joyous, and all the soul families are coming together. And, it's just this, I just see, because I already see that we did it. I can see into multiple timelines and I know we've already done it. It's just the body that's going through the experience. And so when we talk about being embodied, so we're not ascending and going anywhere, we're actually, the soul is anchored in the body and we become the conduits of these energies that are just rapidly turning our planet into one of the most highly conscious and fun, I'm just going to say fun planets in the cosmos. I don't know if we have any questions yet. Is somebody?
We don't yet, but I would like to invite people to ask any questions because on my lives I do every week, it's always, I invite people to ask questions, and I can feel there's people back there going, I kind of want to ask a question, but I don't want to be out there naked, And as soon as somebody asks a question, then everybody jumps in and goes, oh, okay, it's safe to ask questions. So, this is an opportunity to really get some wonderful mirroring. 11 people with 11 comments. We got 11/11 going on at 9/11. You can't make this stuff up. It's 9/11 where I'm at. I'm in the future on Saturday in Thailand. And Miranda is, I guess it's 12/11 for her in Melbourne. So we got a lot of 11s going on. And, there are no stupid questions. And I remember when I used to go to the 3-day dreaming weekends with my mentor, Don Miguel Ruiz, and I would have something that had been coming up for me during the month. But, when you went into the dreaming weekends, you would sit on a couch in front of everybody. So you might as well have just been totally naked up there and, talk about your fears or whatever's coming up or your doubts or whatever it is. And so I'm sitting back, just going, okay, I really want to ask, but I'm afraid. And I'll tell you what, the weekends that I asked, I got so many gifts and I felt so free. And if I left that 2.5-day weekend and I didn't ask my question, I felt miserable because I didn't take advantage of being able to sit in front of a very wonderful person and group of people and just get gently mirrored through it. It's just programs. There's no hierarchy of whether you're smart or you're not smart or whatever. We've all got our stuff. We've all been programmed through the school system, the system of religion. Science has been manipulated. The media is, what's up. So Laura has a question. Thank you, Laura. And I could answer this one for myself. I don't know. I don't have a lot of dreams either. And when I do have dreams, this could go deep, but when I do have dreams, it's interestingly that people are usually messing with me. Now, Miranda probably has completely different dreams where everybody's all happy and they're sitting around the campfire playing kazoos and with party favors, and the animals are all hanging out together. But I don't know, I don't really, I think they say that we're dreaming all night long, but whether we're cognizant of it or not, I don't know. But I certainly, for me personally, I would not allow that to have you think that there's something wrong with you. Because your soul knows what's going on, your higher self knows what's going on, and whatever you need to be shown is going to be shown. And I can tell you that out of all the dreams that I've had when I was younger, I don't remember hardly any of them that made any sense or taught me anything that I could take with me. But when I'm navigating in this, what my teacher called the waking dream, like Miguel told me, you're dreaming all the time. You're dreaming right now, not just when you're asleep. And my ego is kind of like, I don't know if I like that. I can't control that, because the ego wants to control everything and feel safe. But, if you don't remember anything and you don't have anything, then there's nothing wrong with that at all. Miranda, you got a take on that?
Yeah, Laura, thank you so much for your question. And I would just encourage you and everyone to know that however you are is perfect. It's just beautiful, because whatever is happening for you is just what's meant to happen. And things change. Like you may find that you suddenly start dreaming at some point in your experience, or it may be that you start tapping into that. And if you don't have dreams, that's absolutely fine too. I'm with Jeff. I see everything as a dream. I feel like we are in a magical dream and we can play with the dream. So whether it's a waking dream or a dream that you have at night, in my own life, I've found at various points I've had dreams that I do recall and are very powerful. Often it depends on when I wake up. Like if I wake up in the middle of the night, I might remember a dream, but in the morning, sometimes they just quickly leave my, because they're so subconscious. I have kept dream diaries at different times, and at times on my journey, that's been really interesting. So I would encourage you, Laura, just to play with it. And also with your language, just be open to anything, because your language, actually, your words create reality. So if you keep your words open, rather than I don't do this, keep it open, because then who knows what could happen. But it's all good. Your higher self always has you. And even if you're not, there's a lot of trying going on among, people about I'm trying to be spiritual, or I'm trying to, ascend. And actually, you don't actually need to try. Your higher self has it all under control. So everything that's meant to happen will happen. So relax is my answer. Relax and enjoy the journey. It's fun.
That brought up two pieces for me. And thank you again, Laura, for asking the question, because this opens up some great stuff for everybody. One of the things that is very, very powerful that I have everybody do every single morning that I journey with, and I never miss a day, is dreaming up my reality. First thing in the morning, when I awaken out of what we call the sleeping dream, and my head's still on the pillow, before those 50 to 80,000 thoughts that just go all day long underneath the surface, we're kind of like carrying 3D in the past in with us. They're not all bad thoughts, so I'm not saying they are, but most people are recycling and repeating their old story, what happened to them, their job, and so it's actually more powerful for you to be creating your dream life consciously while you're not asleep, because now I'm lying on my bed and I'm loving on every one of my cells. Every one of my cells can feel it. I'm sending love and light and health to them. I'm raising my vibration. And now I'm envisioning anything that I desire. It's already here now. It's never in the future. Never. And I invite everybody to become very aware of what I call spell words. It's called spelling for a reason. So the spell words to become aware of and eliminate are hope, wish, try, want, should. Those are weak words, because what they do is they tell your subconscious it's not here yet, it's not happening. And when you figure out and finally realize that the subconscious only knows how to do one thing, and this is really great when you figure it out. It can only take direct orders. It's either here now or it's not. And this is the trick of the 3D hologram, because we look out there and we go, it's not here yet. And so the subconscious goes, okay, guys, it's not here yet. Give us more of that. So it's a trick. We've got to create it in here frequency-wise. And that's why being so playful and imaginative, like a little child, is priceless. I invite everybody to start reversing the AGEING process. You know, you can actually reverse your aging. Your cells are listening to every thought and every word. But most people, you'll be the first one to tell you, I never tell anybody when they ask me how OLD I am. I do not use the word OLD in my vocabulary or my frequency. I'll tell somebody, yeah, I was born in 1960, whatever, but I do not tell my cells how OLD I am. And so when we talk about dreaming, you can create it. And I invite you to create it every day. I have people that I journey with and mentor, they set alarms to go off on their phone every hour and a half. And they might not catch all of them, but I'll tell you what, when you start catching 5 or 10 or 15 alarms a day, and you take 1 minute to go, okay, where's my frequency right now? Oh, okay, there I am. Now I'm back to smiling. I'm back to getting playful. I see all this amazing stuff. It just magnetizes into my field every day. The most incredible people, abundance, health, magic, playfulness, synchronicities all day long. It has to happen because your frequency, you can't fake it. And when your frequency is aligned to fun and playfulness, it's here now, then it starts to show up. And if it's not showing up, then you get then either it's not for your highest good, so you just go, okay, cool, that must not be for my highest good. Because if what I thought I wanted, this handsome guy that I thought was my soulmate, he might be, you know, the devil in disguise or whatever. So number one, learn to trust in whatever shows up, and then just play with your frequency. And dream all day long. The number one thing that the 3D matrix is doing right now is it's distracting everybody from being in what I call 0 point. 0 point is there's no thoughts going on, there's no future, there's no past, there's only, oh man, this is so much fun. I get to create this right now and this, and I get to hang out with people that are doing the same thing, and we're doing it together, and it's so much fun, and that's it. Right now, you can see it's an all-out distraction assault from one, you know, little V to the next one, to the next, you know, weather atrocity to the next, you know, it's just, the playbook is the same playbook over and over and over and over. And you got to be able to see the program in order to go, I'm not tuning into that program ever again. And then they completely lose their power. And some people go, well, I need to know what's going on. Well, then find other avenues where truth is being shared, like BitChute or, you know, just people on here, you know, that are sharing truth. This is a great, great format here for attracting like frequencies. So yeah, create your reality consciously each day. Do not wait, hope, or wish, or try. I am, it's here. I intend. That's power from a place of really who you are. It's just that we got bamboozled into forgetting who we were, and then we got, you know, our DNA hijacked, and we got fed all these programs that keep us from not remembering who we are. So all these energies are coming in right now. Anybody that's paying attention knows. And yeah, a lot of light's getting shined on the darkness, because the more light we shine on them, the better. And I'll finish with this. We must forgive everyone. This was a big piece for me, because anybody that knows me knows that I share about the children, pedophilia, anything and everything, the things that other people don't want to touch or admit, or, yeah, If you're not willing to look at it, then it's not going to go away. But we don't fight it. So what we do, so I had to learn how to forgive the pedophiles and the murderers and the rapists. And that doesn't mean that if I ever saw anybody doing anything, I wouldn't stop them with every bit of my being. But I'm not holding any judgmental, hateful frequency in my magnetic zone. Why? Because then I would just start seeing more of that. So this is why it's so important to do the inner healing, which is really pretty easy, but it seems to be the last place that anybody wants to go. And that's why they named it the dark night of the soul, so nobody would go there. I call it the beautiful doorway to your freedom of everything you ever wanted. All it involves is forgiving anybody that ever did anything to you and realizing if you really want to be open and you really want to accelerate your path, realize that every single thing that happened to you, no matter how horrible it may have been, was part of your agreed upon soul contract before you came here. If you can get behind that, it'll change everything in your life. Forgive everybody. Thank those that you can thank for being your mirror and perfectly playing their role. You don't have to thank somebody if they, horribly abused you or whatever, but the frequency must be cleared. Otherwise, you're going to attract and you're going to stay stuck. So healing is actually as simple as forgiving. That's it. I journey with people that have been holding on to stuff for 6, 7, 8 decades, and in one call or 1 or 2 calls, it's gone. Their whole energy shifts. And then the memory might come back once in a while because I haven't figured out a way to delete memories of events. But if they do, you just tune in and you go, is that just the memory because it happened, or am I still holding anything towards them? And you'll be able to feel whether you're still pissed off or, yeah, my mom's still, I'm still not really ready to let it go. Well, if you're not ready to let it go, then you can attract more low vibrational drama because like attracts like. And so again, where is your magnet? Where is your magnetic frequency? And I invite you to set 15 alarms on your phone and start playing this game, because if you don't, the external world, and from my experience and the people that I journey with, it'll distract you. We've got to run our own program and reprogram ourselves. And when you begin to have fun doing it, it's not WORK, another spell word that I never use. It's fun. Getting back to being like a little child. That's why the school system steals children's imagination and teaches them what to think instead of how to think, and how to really tune in to their passion and their desires and their playfulness and their unlimited imagination. It's no mistake the school system is set up to program people the way it is. And to give up, 12 to 16 years to get a piece of paper, so then you can give up 65 years, the best years of your life, so then you can become what? Another spell word, retired. To recycle, tired, you know what that means. It's a program. So I'm inviting all of you to program your, I don't really like that word because it kind of sounds like a computer. It sounds kind of, not very natural. But
can I jump in, Jeff?
Jump right in.
Oh, that's beautiful, Laura. Thank you so much. That's what we're here to do. We're here to, be shining the light together and enjoying this incredible experience we have on the planet Earth. It's an amazing time. We've all chosen to incarnate here. I like to say we've chosen to incarnate here for the party, which is the ascension of Gaia. And as Elaine says, I love the unfolding of this magnificent life. I love that too. I just like to remind people too that we are the system. We can talk a lot about what's out there and what isn't working, but in fact, we are I think of us as stargates or portals. We are the creators, and each time we hold the vibration and the frequencies of divine love and excitement and joy. And, I'm seeing already, I can feel, and I know these timelines already exist because it's all in the now. It's all now where our children are, they are living soul-empowered lives, and our whole education systems are all about their curiosity and about what their soul is wanting them to explore and discover. And it's a really exciting time. And we know the New Earth children, the children are being born with higher and higher levels of awareness, and they're teaching us. So there's so many incredible high vibrational beings on the planet right now. Millions of us are awakening all over the planet, and the children are leading the way as well. And it is an incredibly exciting time to be here. And some of the really good tools to use, there's lots of different ways to do this, but feel into your feelings. And if you are feeling excited, if you're feeling joy, if you're feeling bliss, if you're feeling like, wow, I'm here having this soulcation on Gaia, like souls are lining up to be incarnated here, and we got the lucky ticket to be here. It's just like when you're feeling those feelings, that you're soul aligned. You're really in connection with source, and all of that beautiful energy is flowing, that love is filling you, that joy is filling you. You're anchoring that into the earth plane, into the heart of Gaia, and you are receiving the inspiration and the downloads of New Earth now. So the galactic technology or angelic, all sorts of things are coming through us. It's all us. For all of the things that are going to be, that are already created. In fact, I love this. My friend Wanda always says, everything's already created. Everything in your life that you would ever want is already created. Everything that we desire for our planet is already created. And we all get to have our own universe of creation and explore it in the way that we each wish to explore. So it's super exciting. Hi, Diane, welcome. And one of the things that really helps you to move into your creatorship is letting go of those dense frequencies, the conditioned mind. So all of the thoughts that you had from childhood, which were about not being worthy, not being good enough, not being lovable, any a trauma, abuse that you've experienced, things that people said about you that were, hurt your heart, all of those. And as Jeff said, the educational systems, even the political, all the different systems, these are belief structures that we know are outdated. We know the energetics of the planet now don't support, the 3D matrix is crumbling before our eyes. None of that is working. We're actually moving into a flow state because of what's happening on the planet. And you can actually get a really good gauge on where you are at in your life and how dense the frequencies are in your field just by using the mirror. So the mirror of your life, what are your relationships like? What's your family life like? What's happening? Are you having joy? Are you allowing yourself to have fun? How in touch are you with your inner child? All those sorts of things are reflections. What's your abundance like? And if there's any area of your life that you're not feeling it's, really where you want it to be, then that's that opportunity to do that. To do that inner work, to go within and go, where am I holding a belief that is not about abundance or that I'm lovable and all those different things? Any triggers are just thank you. Anyone who triggers you, just thank them, because there's a gift right there. That's a gift to go within and go, thank you for triggering me. There's something, and just go within and get really quiet and just ask your higher self, ask your soul, what do I need to know? And it will emerge. As soon as you ask, you will receive guidance, synchronicities, people will come into your life. When I was on my knees, because my whole life was falling apart, the relationship was ending, the house was ending, everything that I knew was ending, all the abuse I'd experienced when I was young was coming up, everything was coming at me. I felt like, the table where the legs are being chopped off the table, I was like so unstable. I didn't know, if I could make it. Well, when I surrendered and I said, please guide me, show me, that's when I really tapped into my multidimensional self, and I got guided to the right people to support me with my inner healing work. And I used all of that courage to face every fear. And I'm sitting here now in a totally different timeline, in a different life, manifesting my home in 2 weeks. I have a friend who manifested her home without even paying for it. I have beautiful soul family all around me and gorgeous life. And I'm excited for my soul mission, which is this sort of work. And just seeing everyone blossom around me, it's a really exciting time. So we would love some more questions. Does anyone have some questions for us? Because we'd like to give you practical tools and touch on anything that is at the moment maybe an opportunity for you to grow more into your embodiment as a soul, creating your reality. And I know we've got a lot of incredible souls on this call already who are doing that right now.
Thank you for that. I just want to mirror one thing again because it's so key. And I had to hear Miguel say things like 100 times, and my mind went, that's really good. But I still had an underlying belief or something down here that I hadn't cleared out. So it was just like when I bought all the top spiritual books, the New York Times bestsellers, and I'd read them and go, this is really good, but nothing shifted in my life. And it wasn't until I went within and did the inner questioning. So one of the greatest questions that we can ever ask is, what is this trying to teach me about me? So when you begin to have the integrity to catch every judgment, every trigger, every shameful thought, of any low vibrational thought, you train yourself to feel them. And instead of distracting yourself with, scrolling or alcohol or, whatever it is, you ask, what is this trying to teach me about me? And if you find yourself going, this person keeps doing this to me, they're your greatest teacher. Unless somebody's physically assaulting you, then get out of the room or the relationship. But when we talk about judgments, which is the biggest addiction on the planet, and everything's set up to keep everybody triggered. Republican versus Democrat, White Lives Matter, Black Lives, get the vax, don't get the, it's all, they know how to do it. Get everybody reacting so they stay low frequency in judgment and anger, and they keep recycling and they keep feeding off of that energy. It's called loosh energy. So the key is, where am I right now? Where's my frequency? Am I happy? Am I excited? Am I doing what I love? And if I'm not doing what I love, what's it going to take to do that? Because anybody that has the excuse, and your ego may not want to hear this, oh, well, I can't leave my job because I've been there for 10 years and another 6 years and I'll get my freaking payout if they even still are doing it, whatever. Are you doing what you love? Are you doing what you love? That's the key, because you did not come here to be a slave in a 9-to-5 system. And if you're in a 9-to-5 system and you're enjoying it, or you're there because that's where you are right now, I get it. I was there for a long time in my life. The beauty of that system for me is it crushed me, harmed my body, and everything else. It forced me to get out because I was a very high output employee everywhere I worked. And so they took advantage of that and ran me into the ground. So I finally ended up just moving into a recording studio and going, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And I never planned on doing this until I met Miguel. So again, the key is, what is this trying to teach me? Anytime I have a trigger, a judgment, or a triggered reaction. And if you're willing to do that, you will make more progress over the next couple months than many people will make in their entire lifetime, because they're saying that everything out there is what's wrong. That's what I used to do. That's why I wrote a whole chapter in my book on judgment, because I used to be a judgeaholic. I grew up in private Catholic schools with angry, pissed off nuns where every day was judgment day. Every day was judgment day. And so I thought that's how we fixed everything, by going, okay, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. But what happens is I'm magnetizing to see more of everything that I was judging. So what is this trying to teach me about me? It's a really, really, really powerful tool. It's ownership.
Yeah, and I like that piece you mentioned, Jeff. It's about really to step into your creatorship. It's about taking full responsibility for what you are creating. You have to do that. You have to take responsibility. When you're still blaming or pointing the finger outside of yourself, you're giving away your power. And a big theme on the planet right now is about, are you stepping into your power as a sovereign creator, as somebody who's consciously able to create their reality? Or are you giving your power away by living in fear? So that's a big one. And it's a journey, you know, and I was on a big journey to overcome fear myself. And I just want to say, you know, healing trauma, a lot of us, what I see is there's a lot of trauma on the planet. Yeah, thanks, Elaine. Love moving beyond judgment is freedom. Beautiful. I love that. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who's just joined us. Lovely to see you, Michael. But you know, it's really when we with the trauma that is on the planet from this or other previous incarnations, whatever we want to call that, a lot of us are working with our own trauma, ancestral trauma, and so on. We're transmuting that. And so if you do need support to do that, please reach out. Your soul will know who the right person is to help you move through if you find it very frightening to go within and to feel your feelings. Because feeling your feelings is how you connect to your divine guidance. You need to be able to feel, and your intuition to be able to connect to the field around you, to know what feels good is the way you want to go. You want to move in that direction, but you have to feel to be able to do that. So for some of us who've had a lot of trauma, we need to allow that, the stories of it and all of the forgiveness and all of the healing to happen, so that we can remove that that fear of being in the body, because it's about embodiment at this point, you know, coming into the body. So yeah, if just ask your soul, your angels, your higher guides, however you connect, what do I need? And as soon as you say, I want to heal, you will be led and guided to what is perfect for you. We did have a question I saw up earlier there. What does I think it was from Diane. What does a pink jewel signify in a crown? That's an interesting question. I love that. Don't know if you, I mean, I guess it, I think it's something that might be an interpretation for each one of us to have our own way of viewing that. As soon as I hear pink, I'm thinking of rose quartz and I'm thinking love. And you're saying crown, I'm feeling into, and what comes to me is about sovereignty. So I think, you know, for me, what comes up is that rose, you know, the love, the heart love, and the sovereignty. And for me, what we are seeing all over the planet is we're leaving the busy mind, you know, the cognitive mind that's on 5%. You know, most of us is subconscious, actually. We operate on a subconscious, you know, plane. So it's the moving out of the busy mind, back into the heart. And it's that connecting to the divine, or you might call it the quantum field or the super consciousness, allowing that to come through, and we navigate through our feeling state or our intuition, and we imprint on our subconscious. So when we want to manifest something or create something, we daydream about it, we meditate on it, we pray, we thank it for already being here, whether it's a new home or a relationship or a job or whatever it is that you desire. And like a little kid, you know it's already there. And then you have the joy of seeing that manifest into the physical reality.
Anybody else have any questions? Come on. I think we covered a lot. I mean, these are the tools. It's really pretty simple. Where's my frequency right now? Am I being playful? Am I catching judgments or triggers and asking what they're trying to teach me? Am I using words that state that my desire is here now? And that may be uncomfortable for some people in the beginning. You know, it may feel weird because the ego, if the ego's been running the show, the ego might want to jump in and go, well, it's not here right now, you know? And once you get a taste of aligning with that frequency and see that that is the magnet that does pull in your desire, like think of every one of these as one of your desires, a timeline. And as Miranda said earlier, when her friend Wanda said, if you can imagine it, it's already here. It's not somewhere in the future. There's all kinds of invisible stuff around us right now. All these timelines are here. So you don't really have to WORK hard for anything. In fact, if you think you have to WORK hard, then you're running a 3D program, because excitement and seeing it as here now and being playful will bring you everything you desire without having to struggle. So if you're struggling and you're using that mindset, that's totally 3D, and you will probably experience that because that's what you're telling your subconscious. You're programming it to deliver that reality. Why not deliver it that it's very playful and just try that out? You don't have to, like my teacher said, don't believe me, don't believe yourself for sure, but try it out. And I can guarantee you that being playful and seeing what you desire is here now will do it. And just rinse and repeat, and hang out with people that are desiring to have these conversations and being playful. You know, you may want to shift some of the people you hang out with. There may be people in your life that you dearly love, that you've been friends with for 30 years, but they're the negative Nancy or whatever. And, you know, I do my best to mirror them and invite them gently with love and playfulness to shift. But if they don't want to shift, then I shift out of that deal and I'll love them from afar. And they may come back later or whatever. It doesn't mean I cut them out, but I have a mantra that I use. It's very powerful and created a big shift for me. It's anything less than love is not acceptable in my world, my frequency, my conversations, my creative states. It's just not. And if I have to deal with that, then I deal with it with awareness of like the observer and like, okay, what's this trying to teach me? You know? But I jumped in the middle of some dogs the other night and I shouldn't have done that. And I ended up going over an embankment on my motorcycle and I should have let the dogs do what they do, but I love them and I didn't want them to be fighting. But had I had another split second to think about it, I probably would have gone, let's see, would they be doing that if you weren't here yet? And they're probably going to do it when you leave. And I could have saved myself a little bit of bruising. But so, yeah, you know, awareness. Go ahead, Miranda.
I was going to say, you know, I think this topic of discernment is a really good one, because sometimes, you know, as empaths, many of us are empaths, or, you know, just big-hearted, we love, because really when your sacred heart opens, you know, you love everyone and everything because you know it's all you know. And it's very powerful, this idea of discernment. So it can be the most loving thing to say no to someone. It can be the most loving thing to even move away from a situation that is hurting you, because self-love is about caring for the self, and you are the magnet of your experience. So as your inner reality changes, your outer reality changes. So the more self-love, and this is the thing I really want to speak to, it's actually, we had this twisted model of what self-love is. You know, people get it really confused because they think it's being selfish or something, but actually self-love is the key, because self-love is actually when you realize we're one. Loving the self is loving everyone. And the more each of us are in our sovereignty and loving ourselves, then we emanate that frequency, and we then attract into our world more things that are loving, which is what everybody wants. We all want peace. We all want harmony. We all want joy. We all want excitement. We all want to feel safe. We all want these fun things. You know, we want abundance. And how do we do that? We do that by changing our inner reality, and I call it radical reconciliation, of getting rid of all of the false beliefs and thoughts and just returning to the soul, which is love and joy and abundance. So being discerning in your relationships is really important. And another thing I was going to say is that, you know, sometimes we try to manifest things, you know, we try really hard And that's when we kind of stuff it up a bit, because the very act of trying is signaling to the universe, which is you as your God self, that you don't quite believe that you can do it because you're making an effort towards something. So a really good tip is, and look, when we've had trauma, sometimes there can be things that can be harder to create because, or we feel that way because it's been a sore place, you know? So we have to let go of all of that and start to feel safe and start to relax. And so if there's something that you would desire, and everything you desire, you deserve. I love that. Matthew Patty says that. Everything you desire, you deserve. So what you can do is you can stop focusing on that and let that vibration go, that vibration which isn't working out for you. Have fun, play, do the stuff that is working, get your vibration really high, and then just see what happens. You know, don't put so much effort into things, and you'll be surprised at how things just come through gratitude. We've got maybe some questions here.
Samantha has a great question. Says, I find it very difficult to release judgment completely. Do you have any mantras to help overcome the triggers when they present themselves? Yeah, and thank you for this question, because judgment is the biggest addiction on the planet. It's a way bigger addiction than drugs and alcohol or anything else. It's that trick of separation, and everybody is you, and that can be tough for the ego to accept. But the bottom line is, what is this trying to teach me about me? All your judgments are about you. Now, this can be tricky when you're going, well, what about the children they're harming, and what about, you know, Yes. However, you can still shine light on that, but your number one thing is to keep your frequency rooted and grounded in love. Otherwise, you're actually assisting staying stuck in the 3D matrix, because they feed off of that. They feed off of judgments and triggers and low vibrational stuff. So, you know, I would begin my day with my head on the pillow and go, today's another magnificent day that I get to play in, no matter what. Another word I don't appreciate, HMPE, what I have to do. Like, I have to go to work, or I have to do this. You really don't have to do anything. Now, that'll probably trigger the ego a little bit if you're stuck in a situation that you don't prefer right now, but it's something to look at. You know, so all these frequencies and all these judgments and uncomfortableness, the number one antidote for that is, what is this trying to teach me? When you write down those 7 words, I used to tattoo them on my forehead in reverse, so when I looked in the mirror, I would get that message every day, all day long. Because if you're not doing that, then you're probably an automatic reactor thinking that everybody out there is doing things to you. And it's very easy for the untrained ego to run that program and feed off of it all day long like a buffet, smorgasbord, because that's what it was trained to do, to try and keep you in a false sense of being safe and security and not being attacked. And so you've got to be able to see that program. And that key for judgment is, what is this trying to teach me or show me about me? And you'll find out that, oh, I never did like that. That just triggers me. Or I'm still holding a belief that I don't like people that do that from the 3rd grade when I saw somebody do that to me or my sister. It all comes back to you. Again, unless somebody's physically assaulting you or abusing you in the room, then get out. But to me, that changed my world. What is this trying to teach me about me?
Yeah.
So thank you for that question.
It also is about staying present in the now, because judgment can pull us out into past timelines of things that happened way back when as well. I find the Ho'oponopono prayer really powerful. You know, thank you. You know, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I thank you. I love you. And I know sometimes that can be really hard to say. It can feel it's really hard to say, but you're the one who's carrying the energy. The other person, it's not actually the other person, it's you. When you don't forgive, it's you that's carrying the low vibrational energy and the hurt and the pain. So by the forgiveness is actually not about condoning what happened. If there was something terrible that happened, it's not saying that was okay. It's just allowing it to release in you and allowing yourself to be free so that you can come into the present moment and then enjoy creating the reality you truly desire, instead of getting hooked up in old timelines that are not the timelines that you want to be in anymore as well. You can do that work, of course, on a higher vibrational level, like in fifth dimensional. You can do it by speaking to the person in higher planes of consciousness where you're both in complete unconditional love. I find that very powerful. In my experience, I dealt with some very serious trauma, and there were individuals that I just couldn't have those conversations in the 3D physical world with. So you can also work with people, as many of you know, in the high dimensional realities where you can come in as light beings, where there's only unconditional love, and you can have that conversation and you can have that forgiveness, and that can be very healing as well.
Beautiful. Great question. Thank you guys for showing up and being present and, holding the space with us, because even right now on this call, just the vibration of what everybody's doing here, no matter what level you think you're at or what your ego tells you where you are or where you're not, this is affecting the entire collective because it's all connected. And so this is why we love to do this, because number one, it's fun. And number two, it is creating a shift. And together, we're all doing this. It's, everybody's our mirror. Everybody is my teacher. When some people call me, you're my mentor. I go, no, you're my mentor. Because they think that I know things and I have studied, some of us have studied for a long time, been down the rabbit hole, but it's amazing when you're open and you realize that everybody is you in your mirror. There's always something else to learn. It's the trap when you think, well, I'm the teacher and they're just the student. You're already trapped in your ego. You're already running another program it's a protection program. It's the ego, plain and simple. So the key is to really get out of the ego. I have everybody that I journey with name their ego. This is a huge key. Hey, Lisa, great to see you. Hey, Samantha. I named my ego Larry. Larry was the judger, the trigger guy, the shame guy. He's the guy that's running all those programs. And if you don't, when you name him or her, then it's much easier to see when he or she is running that program. So I can be on a call with, a client or something. I'll go, oh, Nancy, tell me more. And she knows that's negative Nancy running her story, and then we have a chuckle. There's no shame. It's just, you've got to be able to see a program in order to dismantle it. Otherwise, the emotional charge of the program will make you think that you're right, and you'll keep running that program. An emotional reaction doesn't mean you're right. This is where people get so tripped up. An emotional reaction simply means, I just had an emotional reaction. But most people, or many people, will think, God damn it, I'm right, because I just got triggered and I can feel it. No, that's a wound. Or I don't really like that word because it makes people feel like they're damaged or something, but that's a trigger. That's an old, stickler point, the little jab in the side, or the little mosquito on the side of your head, So it's so key. Name your ego and be playful with it. Come up with a funny name. My higher self ego's name, what is it? I just forgot it. Oh, it's Lizzie. I named her after Lizzie Borden, the axe murderer. And Lizzie is the one that's done all the spiritual work. So she can trick and come at me with different programs. Larry, he's just simple. He's the judge and, the manipulator and the feel shame and guilt. He's real easy to see. Lizzie's got she's got a little more sophisticated program. And so if you find that helpful, I certainly did. But again, we've got to be able to see the program in order to dismantle it. And when you're willing to do that and just be playful, you'll start to see them real quick, and you'll start to dismantle them like that, because you're no longer in resistance to them. You're no longer fighting them. You're just like, oh, shit. Right? There's a big one. And sometimes when you ask, what is this trying to teach me? You may not want to look at it because there might be a big charge to it. But the fact that you can feel that charge tells you that you know there's something deeper to look at. And the sooner that you do, the sooner you're going to be free. That's it. You can take 10 years to do it, or you can jump in and do it in a week or 30 days or less, and just do it. Self-love, playfulness. Yeah. So
I love it, Jeff. And I think the power is to remember that we are the only thinkers in our mind. Truly, like we get to choose our thoughts and feelings. And when you get into a space that you are unlimited soul, you don't have to take on any of the beliefs that you grew up with or that are in society. You can actually be feeling and receiving the new information that's coming through from your own direct connection to source, and just operate through your heart from love. And that's what gets really exciting. I love the idea that we're unlimited. You know, all of us are beyond definition, beyond any limitation, and anything is possible. It just is really what can you, in terms of being in flow and being able to just emanate the energy. So your feelings and your intention, what is that? And holding that in coherence. And the coherent part is really important. So not waffling around, ordering from the universe, like, oh yes, I want that. Oh no, I don't want that. Oh, I want that. Oh, I'm not worthy. Oh, I want that. But it's none of that. It's I am abundant. I am love. I am joy. I am, in my soul mission. I am ecstatic. I am all these. I mean, you can feel it because you just feel it in your field. It just feels so good. And you have all of the support of the entire cosmos with you. And if I ever get caught up in, I love my ego. I don't have any issue with it at all. I'm thankful. It's part of the human experience. And often I feel that when we're afraid, it's a younger part of us. Like it's usually like an inner child part that gets really scared because something bad happened way back then. But if you just love every part of you that wants to come home to self, just love that little part and say, hey, sweetheart, it's okay. We're going to be all right. Thank you for coming home. Thank you for being brave. Thank you for being angry. Like express those emotions that you need to let go of. Jeff and I both advocate for like getting the pillow out and hitting the bed or crying or laughing, whatever the emotions are, let the feelings flow and let them go because they free you and your field to be more in tune with your true nature as soul.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. So you brought up one thing that I touched on earlier that I want to touch on again, simply because this was one key that completely changed my life in the way that I view how we create our reality. And that's the belief system. For the most part, the belief system is a prison. When Miguel got me to look at my belief system in 2001 or 2, my head exploded. I was writing them all out, in a journal and being a good student, the apprentice. And the light bulb went off. It exploded my head. I went, oh my God, none of these beliefs are even mine. None. They all came from my parents, my grandparents, Catholic school, the church, the news, the media. None of them were mine. But watch how people get triggered. And this is how the media is able to manipulate everybody right now more than ever, because they just trigger them and they get everybody to be judging each other. So your belief system is so limiting. As Miranda said, and we've touched on, anything that you can imagine, it's not in the future. It already exists. It's right here, right now. The eye can only see like 1/1,000,000th of what's going on. It's mind-boggling. I go outside and I see flowers and butterflies and dragons. It's like so lush and colorful where I live, but apparently our eye can only really see, like, there's all these dimensions and stuff going on. We may be surrounded by angels and I don't know. I don't personally see that currently, but my belief system and most people's belief system is keeping them trapped in 3D. I only kept 2 beliefs out of every belief that I have. One is love is the answer in every situation. And the other one is I am an unlimited sovereign divine being. Now, I can't even really prove that, am I? Or are we just living in a little petri dish where somebody's experimenting and they're just playing with us and manipulating? I don't know. But based on my experience of consciously creating my reality every day and questioning my belief system and dismantling it, and it changed everything for me, everything. And so don't be too, investigate the belief system, investigate what you're defending, because it will keep you trapped. And, you know, how big can you imagine your reality to be? How big? This isn't from a place of greed. This is from a place of, it's your birthright. It's, you are everything. You know, when I journey with people in the beginning on the first call, I ask them, what do they desire? They usually tell me the same thing. Well, I want to have my health. I'd like to have a beautiful car paid off and my house paid off and then enough money in the bank to be secure. And I'm like, well, how much money is enough? And they never know. Their mind's going, 1 million, 10 million, a billion, a quadzillion. It's like, there isn't enough. That's a fear-based program. It's part of the belief system. So the key is, bust all that stuff. Just how big can you think? How playful can you be every day? Because little kids don't sit around in the sandbox and the other kid goes, you can't fly in a rocket ship. You're not flying with the fairies. That's not possible, you know, in current science or whatever. No, they go, I am, I am, I am. And that's why children have the ability to manifest, and they're our greatest teachers. So our invitation right now is to get back, undo all this programming and this limiting belief system, and get back to being playful like a little child from the time we wake up in the morning, and then as many times as we can during the day. Because if we're not being present and playful, then something else is running the program. And yes, we may need to work a job or whatever, but do we? We're going to get to the point here very soon where you're going to have an option to just spend 2 hours a week in the community organic garden, and it's free electricity. All this stuff is already here, already coming down the pike. So focus on that, I invite you to do, and see how things start to accelerate and you start to see and attract more of that into your reality. And if you need any assistance with it and you resonate with either myself or Miranda, reach out. You know, there's links in the thing, because these are the tools and they work. And that's why we do this, because they work. We had to do it for ourselves, and we're still learning every day. Well, I am. I don't know about her. She might have it all figured out, but I'm still learning every day. I still bop my head on the wall once in a while, but I know what tool to go to when I have any type of little low frequency trigger or judgment, and when I just zone in, I stop immediately. I go, okay, what's this trying to teach me? And I'm like, oh, okay. There's another little piece. I hadn't quite forgiven, and I still had a little bit of judgment wrapped around this. And then you just go, thank you, thank you, thank you. And you smile and you relax into every one of your cells, and that automatically shifts your magnetic frequency by loving on yourself and smiling, and your frequency goes up. And then guess what? You start attracting more like frequencies instead of that which you just judged and triggered because you caught it and you had the intention and the awareness to go in and go, okay, here's a little piece to clear. Cool. And when you get real good at that, you can be like a Ginsu chef, just clearing frequencies. And the next thing you know, you're like, oh my God, my life's completely different than it was even 2 months ago. That's what these tools will do. Mm-hmm. So I have nothing more to say.
I was just going to chime in there and say, I love that we are the aspects of the Creator. We are a creation of the Creator, and we are creating. So it's this incredible experience, and how amazing to be a soul having a human experience. And, you know, in multiple dimensions simultaneously, in multiple incarnations simultaneously. And I just find it fun. I think when you said, you know, do I know it all? Well, the divine, this level of consciousness can't know the vastness of source. I just love that we're all connected in and tapped in and tuned in and enjoying the play of it. And that's what's so fun. And when it comes to imagination, we are multi-dimensional beings. We are much more than these bodies. We have these vast energy fields. We've got our unlimited imagination, which is the imagination of the creator. And we're constantly receiving inspiration from the divine or source, the universe, whatever you call that. So that once that's flowing and we're in flow, then we just get to have fun and we get to play and we get to create together. And once you know how this works, it gets really exciting. I was going to say too that somebody mentioned, I think it was Elaine, how much you love nature, Jeff, and I do too. Gaia is just such a playground for us. So if you aren't already, spend as much time as you can, connecting to her heart, playing in her beautiful frequencies, because she naturally tunes you back to your sort of pure energetic state. So if you find yourself getting caught up, and in the courses I teach, in the 8 steps to radical reconciliation, freedom through sovereignty, which is all about coming back to your soul self, embodying your soul in your physical, in your human body. It's all about moving away from the outer reality, which is distracting, remembering who you are as a creator. And one of the ways you can do that is spend some time in nature. That will really help tune you in as well. So yeah, if there aren't any more questions, maybe we should chat a little bit about what we offer. What do you think, Jeff? Do you want to share what you offer for those who maybe are meeting you for the first time?
I think people know about me, but basically, I wrote the book Waking Up in a Dream. I can't turn around, my back's a little sore to grab the book, but Waking Up in a Dream is just, for me, one of the fastest ways to go in and really embody your unlimited self. It's inner healing, which happens very quickly. It's not this big, painful thing. You actually have fun doing it. You may have some tears. You may have to express a little bit of anger, but we clear it quick. The problem with most people in their healing is they run the story for so long that they don't do what can be done really quickly. And, it's just so powerful. It's life-changing because we cannot hold these emotions within us and go to higher levels, because we're going to still attract people that are going to mirror back any wounds or childhood conditioning or whatever. It's very powerful. Second part is, dismantling the belief system. I have a system where people learn to track the frequency of every thought, word, and emotion. And if you don't think that'll change the way you create your reality, to me, it's the most life-changing thing I've ever done. And then consciously creating your reality. And it's a very simple process. And you end up having a sheet where you track this stuff every day. And it's very simple. And it's just like, you just start to, if you're running any programs, you start to see them. There's PowerPoint training where it just shows you what the program does. And you go, oh my God, almost everybody's doing that. And once you see it, it starts to lose its power. It's wonderful at 10:10. So, the links are in here for anybody that wants to reach out. Portal to Awakening is the website. And all of my Facebook past lives, which talk about all these tools over and over and over, are on my YouTube channel, which is also youtube.com/Portal to Awakening. And before we go, and before I turn it over to Miranda, since we've got 11 amazing people on here, I like to do at the end of my transmissions, we'll do a little bit of vibrational tuning into our frequency, and we'll send that out to the entire planet. Since we've got 10 powerful people on here, and many more will see this as it gets posted in some groups and stuff. So Miranda, why don't you tell people about your amazing course that you're going to be offering starting in, I think, a week, isn't it? Doing that?
Yeah. Thank you, Jeff. I know what you bring and have served so many souls. It's just incredible. So I can't recommend Jeff highly enough. He's the most beautiful, as you know, most beautiful soul. He's done so much inner work, and he can really share those deep dives with others to help you on your sacred journey. And it's all love based. So just love you, Jeff.
I do come across, I go directly to it. So Miranda, you might be like, well, Miranda's all super loving and giggly. Jeff's a little bit more, but I'm super loving. Anybody that puts their trust in me, I hold them like family every day, and I check in with them every day. And there's no harshness. There doesn't need to be. That's negative frequencies. There's only, okay, here's your self-talk. Here's what it is. Let's clear it. That's it. I'm very direct, but I am very fun, I would like to say. So I just want to say that on my behalf, because I've been called intense before. But my intensity in music and sports and what I do, it all comes from a place of love. It's not about, I'm your dad that's like, you better get this shit right. That's how my uncle used to be. That was intense. I'm very loving. But thank you for the reflection and compliment. I received that, and it's nice to hear that.
I love it, Jeff. Both Jeff and I are incredibly light, as you can tell, and we have been into depth. So we've got a range of frequencies that we're familiar with. I'm really excited to share with you all Radical Reconciliation, Freedom Through Sovereignty, which is a series of energies that come coming to serve humanity at this time, to serve us at this time. And the Radical Reconciliation is all about returning to unconditional self-love. It's about getting rid of all of the old stories, the trauma, the old beliefs, the programs. There are 8 steps that really set you up for success, and it's a beauty way, so it's very beautiful and very loving. I was a bit of a kamikaze myself when I went through my own incarnation, and I really need help make it a lot easier for others. So I have a Facebook global community where I share information, really high vibrational information to support and serve souls. I also have a group coaching program I'm about to start at the start of September, which is called Activate Your Creator Codes. So really helping people to shift into this new reality, or to help anchor that more for you as well, and also doing one-on-one coaching too. So I can't wait to share what I have to share with others, just to help your sacred journey. And of course, knowing, as we know, Jeff, that it's everyone's own soul and higher self that always knows the way. So we're just really here to support and cheer you on, because of course you are the expert in your own incredible sacred journey.
Yeah, thank you. Miranda's amazing. Her program is amazing. We're doing a lot of the same. I mean, the tools are actually pretty simple when you narrow it down. It's just that so many of us weren't taught the tools. And then as we get older, in my case, I was like, well, why do I want to go back and revisit any of that? That stuff happened and whatever. And I didn't know anything about, you're holding a frequency, you're still holding that, and that will show up in relationships, and your judgments are, I didn't know that. So many people are just running on emotion, and whatever emotion they feel, their ego tells them that they're right because they feel that emotion. But that's the trap. You're not right. You're simply having an emotional reaction. So the key to your freedom is to, when you have a trigger or a judgment or a reaction, to stop. Because if you don't stop, the story will run. You hear people say, I'm having a really bad day. Usually 9 times out of 10, they have one moment that was a trigger, or something happened. They dropped the breakfast all over the floor and they were late for whatever. And then their ego ran off the frequency trigger of that for the rest of the day. Where you can nip this stuff, you can catch it right when it happens and go, what is this trying to teach me? And so it's really, really cute. So we're going to leave you with that. Before we go, let's just tune in for anybody that would like to. I'll play a little bit of this flute and really tune in. The starting point for me always is self-love, because I didn't used to do that. I was like, yeah, I'm a pretty good guy. I'm doing some good stuff. But people were sending me frequencies last night on a healing machine, one from Spain and one from the US. And then after the 10-minute session, my one friend Tina sent me a message. She goes, you need to focus more on unconditional love. And I was like, how do I do that? I love myself. I'm loving on my body. I'm loving on my cells. How do I really know when I've totally accepted myself 100% unconditionally? And to be honest with you, I didn't know. So that's something for me to play with, So the place where I start is self-love and just thanking every one of my cells in my body for just getting me through all these decades of stuff that I've done to my body and accidents and self-talk and everything else. And then we'll magnify and we'll amplify everything that we have in our body, and we'll send it out to anybody that needs any support, any help around the planet. Gratitude, just blast out whatever you're feeling from your heart. And just thank you, everybody, for showing up. And we'll be back soon. We're playing with, not only we're doing our own offerings every month, but we're playing with possibly doing a group thing where we've got the male and female energies together, because that seems to be a really good combination. And then we may be, working with doing some in-person events and things as things open up here, as this 3D thing starts to get resolved more and more. So again, thank you for showing up. And let's tune in, and I'm going to play a little bit of this flute and just see how much you can love on yourself and the planet. Right. Does it feel weird to love on yourself a lot? Are you smiling? Now let's just send that out to the entire planet. Grateful for this call. Grateful for the energy that we created right now. And you can continue taking this with you forward through the night, through the day, through the days. And if you found this valuable, it may be valuable to come back and watch this again, because there were a lot of tools shared here. We don't hold back. And so I intend that you found it valuable, and we appreciate every single person that brought their energy and their presence to this call. And so grateful, and I'm so grateful to Miranda. And we'll see you all out in the field. And just be as playful as you can. Be the conscious observer. Be the observer. That's the key. Set your magnet. Anything you want to leave them with, Miranda?
Oh, just a huge thank you to all the beautiful souls who joined us for the live and for the replay. Jeff, it's such an honor to be in your divine presence. I just love you dearly, so dear to me, and so many of the beautiful souls on the call as well. Many of them I know, some of them I'm getting to meet now, and I'm just touched. Together we are New Earth. This is the vibration, the feeling, and the joy of New Earth. It's beyond life, beyond fear, living a soul-empowered life.
Thank you. Things are about to get really, really good. We may have waited a long time, but what's about to occur and what is occurring and what has already occurred, this is why we came here. So keep the faith, know that you're creating it, know every thought is creating it, and just do your best, And if you need support, reach out. Just surround yourself with people that are finding the good, finding the positive, finding things to be grateful for. There's always something you can find to be grateful for, no matter what's going on. So you can always be grateful for your breath, your heartbeat, food, air, this technology, music, nature. There's always something. And if your ego wants to be resistant to that, just notice it and go, okay, I know you're a little bit upset right now. This may be challenging, but the way that we shift it is we get playful and we start to find things to be grateful for. And then your frequency changes, and then the external mirror must mirror your frequency, because that's the way this whole quantum field reality hologram that we call life works. So get playful, and we'll see you out in the field really soon.
And thank you for everything you're doing, beautiful soul family. We know that you're out there sharing your soul gifts and love and frequencies. So you're our teachers as well. We're so grateful for you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, anybody that hangs on this call is a rock star. So, much love to all of you, and we'll catch up to you soon. All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Love you.